Some statements, though whispered gently in fleeting moments, can strike with the force of a storm. They linger in the air, fragile like a breath, yet leave lasting scars on the soul. Their resonance doesn't need to be loud to alter the trajectory of a life. Under the dim glow of the bedroom lamp, I spoke to him softly. "You weren't my first choice, but your commitment makes up for it." Those words, though quiet and seemingly harmless, dimmed something in him. His gaze dulled. His constant presence began to fade, like smoke slipping through my fingers. My careless attempt at honesty didn't just wound him, it unraveled him, even as I offered a faint smile, oblivious to the damage I'd caused. "My name is Elena. I'm 31 years old. And before you judge me, allow me to explain. Hurting him wasn't my intention. I thought I was offering appreciation, as if he should feel lucky to be close to me. Maybe that was my first mistake, believing that simply being near me was a privilege. 7 months after my engagement to Marcus fell apart, I met Julian. Marcus was the man everyone assumed I'd marry, handsome, charismatic, successful. He had a magnetic charm that pulled people in, but he also harbored hidden truths that eventually surfaced. I stumbled upon them accidentally, a locked folder on his tablet that opened to a world I hadn't known existed. Pictures, messages, evidence of a life he'd kept secret. When I confronted him, he said, "You always knew monogamy wasn't for me." And with those words, something inside me cracked. It took time to gather the shattered pieces of myself and stand again. That's when Julian entered my life. Julian was the complete opposite of Marcus. Gentle, consistent, emotionally present. By our third date, he remembered I liked my tea with almond milk. He carried an extra phone charger in case mine died. When he asked about my day, he didn't just listen, he truly heard me. His attention felt like a safe harbor. But there was no spark. No adrenaline rush. No wild heartbeat at the sound of his name. It wasn't the kind of love that set your soul ablaze. I told myself that was okay. Maybe love didn't need to be fiery. Maybe a quiet warmth was enough. 3 months in, he told me he loved me. I didn't say it back. Not because I didn't care, but because I wasn't sure my feelings matched the depth of his. Still, I stayed. I hoped that with time, I'd catch up to the devotion in his eyes. That one morning, I'd wake up and see him the way he saw me, completely and without question. But that moment never came. Instead, a quiet sense of guilt began to grow. Every time he called me the best thing in his life, it stirred something uneasy in me. It worsened when he spoke of our future, his words filled with excitement while I struggled to mirror his hope. One night, after we spent the weekend redecorating my loft, we lay in bed, both of us exhausted. He hadn't complained once, not even when we had to repaint an entire wall because the color I picked looked terrible. With paint flecks still on his skin, he laughed, content. Then he turned to me, a softness in his eyes, and said, "I'd spend every weekend like this if it means waking up next to you." I met his gaze, searching for the emotion I wanted to feel. Instead of offering him the affirmation he craved, I gave him a truth I thought I'd softened. "You know you weren't my first choice, right?" He froze. His breath caught in his throat. I hurried to explain. "I mean, you're my second pick, but you try so hard, and that's what counts." Silence fell between us, thick and unbearable. I tried to recover. "That's a good thing, Julian. Most people don't even make the effort. You do. That's why we work." He didn't answer. He simply gave a faint nod, then reached over to turn off the light. The next morning, he was gone. No argument. No farewell. Just a small bag on his shoulder, his tablet in hand. "I need some time to think," he said, his voice calm but distant. I let him leave, certain he'd return. He always did. But days passed, then weeks. He never came back. My messages went unanswered. Calls sent straight to voicemail. Slowly, anxiety turned into dread. The man I thought would never give up on me might have finally reached his breaking point. Eventually, I heard from a mutual friend who spotted him at a small bistro on the other side of town. She said he looked different, more assured, more at peace. He wasn't alone. A woman sat with him, laughing freely, leaning in as he spoke. Did he seem happy? I asked. Not happy, she said, but free. That word hit me like a slap. Free. He had finally freed himself from me, from the doubt, the one-sided devotion, the painful comparisons. He wasn't coming back. And for the first time, he chose himself. Love, I've come to learn, isn't just about consistency or effort. It's not about proving yourself to someone who only sees you partially. It's about being fully chosen, without caveats, without the sting of being good enough instead of desired. Julian gave me everything he had, his time, his energy, his unshakable loyalty. And I gave him hesitation, dressed up as honesty. I thought I was being brave by speaking the truth. But sometimes, the truth can be just another form of cruelty, softened by tone but sharpened by meaning. Now I sit in this loft, the walls still bearing faint streaks of the paint we rolled on together. I can see the patches where we tried to cover mistakes, some showing through despite our efforts. I miss him. I miss how he said good morning like it was a promise. I miss knowing I was someone's first choice, even when I didn't deserve it. The silence here feels heavier now, not just because he's gone, but because I finally understand. I pushed him away. And this time, he didn't come back.